It's part of our program. Today's Sunday Feast lecture, we have a wonderful special speaker, His Grace Radha Vinod Prabhu. Prabhu is a senior devotee. Prabhu do Kirtans and Bhajans. Prabhu also lead events along with Umesh Prabhu, and he does Pujari services in temple. With that, we will welcome Radha Vinod Prabhu by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna devotees. Let's do small kirtan to invite auspiciousness. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai. Prabhuji, can you present 7th chapter 16th verse? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Sunday Feast program. It's very glad to see all of you today. I know it's a Sunday and people have choices to go anywhere else, but you chosen to come to here. That means you are, as per this particular verse what I am reciting, you are pious soul. You are actually Sukritis. So, very glad to meet you all. Okay. So today we are actually reciting 7th chapter, 16th verse. It is talking about there are 4 types of devotees who come to Krishna for anything, right? I will recite and recite after me. I'll do recite 3 times and after that I will ask everyone 3 or 4 devotees to recite again. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Ato jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Arto jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Arto jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Mataji, anyone wants to recite? Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Arto jignasuratarthi bharatarshabha jnani cha bharatarshabha. Prabhus, anyone? Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Arto jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Kids? Arto jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Anyone in the online? Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna Arto jignasuratarthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Online, anyone is there? All right.
Chaturvida bhajante mam
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
जना सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन
जना सुकृतिनो अर्जुन
आर्थो जिज्ञासुरर्तार्थी
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्धार्थी
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा. All right. So let's go around the synonyms. I'll read one after the word so you can actually repeat after me. Chaturvida, 4 kinds of. Bhajante, render services. Mam, unto me. Jana, persons. Sukritinaha, those who are pious. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Artha, the distressed. Jignasuhu, the inquisitive. Ardharthi, one who desires material gain. Jnani, one who knows things as they are. Cha, also. Bharatarshabha, O great one amongst the descendants of Bharata. Translation by His great devotee Srila Prabhupada. O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. These are the 4 kinds of pious people actually come into Krishna. Before entering into the details, let's take blessings from our Acharya Parampara. I will recite shlokas, you can also sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavancham Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakhanvitancham. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome again to Sunday Feast class. Foremost, I would like to offer my gratitude to His Grace Satsara Prabhu and Her Grace Jai Subhadra Mataji for giving these opportunities. Though I am not qualified to speak this transcendental knowledge, I am actually attempting to do for my own purification. Please forgive me for any mistakes, and also please offer prayers and blessings to speak right words. As we know, Bhagavad Gita is a timeless knowledge. Though this was actually spoken 5,000 years back, it was actually not contextual. It is actually timeless. It is applicable. It was applicable that time, and it is also applicable today, and it will be applicable tomorrow, for until this world exists, right? So 5,000 years back, even it was spoken in the war of Kurukshetra. The war is happening between Pandavas and Kauravas for the kingdom, right of kingdom, right? So if you carefully observe the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. The first chapter is only one actually contextual, where it is talking about who is actually participating in the war, and what is the relationship between them, and what kind of weapons they actually possess, and the interchange of funny talks between those, right? That's the only chapter actually contextual. Then 18th chapter, there are two more verses which is actually contextual, which Sanjay was talking, right? Otherwise, from chapter 2nd to chapter 18th, everything is actually applicable, timeless knowledge. It's applicable anytime, right? So, Lord actually spoken first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chapters about different yogas. Can anyone tell what are the different yogas Lord spoke? Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, yeah, Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is actually started speaking from now on, but until 6th chapter, he spoke Dhyana yoga and specifically he spoke about Ashtanga yoga, right? Ashtanga yoga is the one eightfold yoga, which was actually applicable for the time actually for previous ages, but it's not strictly applicable. The Lord is specifically saying in the chapter that these particular yogas are actually not applicable in this Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, Lord specifically given one kind of yoga, which is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the only way one can actually attain the Supreme. So at the end of the 6th chapter, Lord is concluding with one verse saying that one, of all the yogis, Bhakti Yogi is the one actually very dear to me. He is always thinking of me and he is rendering devotional service unto me. But that way actually I am so loving to him and he is so loving to me. That's what he is saying. He is concluding that one. So then he started speaking the 7th chapter. 7th chapter is about knowledge of the absolute. In other words, in Sanskrit it is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So, what is absolute? Absolute is nothing but actually Supreme Lord. It's a perfect, pure, right? That's so he's talking about himself basically, right? So he says to Arjuna, I am going to speak this knowledge. By knowing this knowledge, there is nothing that you need to know. Basically, you will, by this knowledge, actually, you get to pass this material world and reach to me. So, in this world, there are a lot of knowledge actually. There is material knowledge. But however much knowledge you know or get to know, it's no useful. The ultimate knowledge you need to know is the spiritual knowledge, know about Krishna and how to attain him. That's the actual ultimate knowledge. That is what actually Krishna is trying to speak here. Then also Krishna is saying here, there are actually Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye Yatadamapi Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvataha. So he is saying, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved the perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So he is saying, how many people actually trying to know him and for perfection, when say trying to know him, right? So out of many thousands who try to know that one, hardly some of the people actually get the perfection, right? Only out of those perfected people, only hardly one knows him in truth actually. That's what he's saying. That is the rarity of someone is actually trying to know Krishna. So then he's talking about this material world, how this material world is formed, right? So he's talking Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kammaro Buddhi Revacha Ahankaramiti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Rashtada. He's saying there are 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. So gross elements that we all know, earth, water, fire, air and ether. These 5 elements actually represent some grossly elements here. Mainly if you see earth, right? Earth is representation of form, and water is actually for taste, and fire is for touch, and also air is for sound, air is for smell, and ether is for sound, right? So this world, when actually universe is created, the first one actually came into this universe is sound through ether, right? That Omkar actually the first sound actually introduced to this universe. So that is a sound actually is enough for us to go back to Godhead. So these 5 gross elements, if you see in this world, in this material world, whatever object you take, it is actually combination of these 5 elements which is comprised of these 5 elements, is an object. If this is a karta, this is a gross element, is formed with many other, earth as well as some other fire and all. To make this one, it's water is used, fire is used, and earth. The metal came from the earth, right? So anything, this body, if you take, this body is also, you see the skin and whatever blood or bones, everything is actually formed out of these 5 elements, so gross elements. And then Lord is saying there are 3 more elements called subtle elements. Those are actually mind, intelligence, and false ego, right? So mind, everybody knows. Mind is something it can think of it. It has some logical sense, and when it sees an object or something, it knows that what is it and all, right? But it does not have any control. It does not have any sense that whether it should do this activity or not. But there is some other subtle element called intelligence. Intelligence has actually that discrimination quality where it can know that what action to do and what action not to do. That is the purpose of intelligence. Then we have the third one, of third subtle element is called false ego. So why we are calling it as false ego here? Because in this material world there is no real ego actually. There is actually in spiritual world there is a real ego, but in material world it is called false ego, because the real ego is, we know that the Supreme Lord, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he is the controller of everything or every living entity, and he is the enjoyer, and as a jivas we are the servants of the Supreme Lord. That is the actual real ego. But in this material world we have only false ego. As false ego, we think that we are the supreme, we are the controller, and we are the enjoyer. So that is the actually false ego. These are the 3 subtle elements comprises of this 5 plus 3, 8 gross elements. 8 elements, material elements are actually comprised in this world. These are energies of Supreme Lord, right? And along with this one, Lord is saying that there is another superior energy, that is also my energy, which is actually a marginal energy. Marginal energy is something, a living entity. We all are actually marginal energy. Any living entity you see, any insect or any animal or any human being, we all are souls. We are part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, right? Supreme soul. So we are the one. Lord is saying that these souls are actually exploiting the material energies. So we are the one, we are trying to use all these objects. We are trying to build house with all these 5 gross elements. We are trying to use cars. We are actually making clothes and wearing anything. We are making computer. These are all actually we are exploiting out of these 8 elements, mainly the 5 gross elements, and we are using our intelligent mind to make them, right? So these are actually 5 elements we are using. These are the Lord is saying we are exploiting. Because why is he saying exploiting? Sorry? Yeah, that's one. Good. We are using more than what we need, and we are using actually our own sense pleasure, not for the purpose of God's service. That's the reason we are exploiting. That's what Lord is saying. So then so Lord also explaining here in this chapter, there are many things in this world actually all are of my energy. So he is saying in the fire actually the heat is actually him. That is, there is a bigger list is given, but out of that I'll read some of the list, right? Lord is pervaded in this material in different energies, like he is the original fragrance of the earth, he is the heat in fire, life of all the lives, he is the penances of ascetics, and the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. So these are just a small list out of this world. In this world, anything, any object you take, if it has any quality, that quality is Krishna. Actually, that's what it mean. So we are just not able to give all the list here. That's the only difference. So then there are 3 modes of material nature actually, which is controlling us basically. The 3 material modes of material nature is good, passion, and ignorance. These are the 3. Is actually Lord's energies, external energies, which are actually controlling these souls, right? So what does it mean by controlling us? That means they are keeping in such a way that we are the actually controllers, we are the enjoyers. So they are not allowing us to cross beyond this and think of supreme is the actually controller and is the enjoyer. It's not allowing. That's what it means basically. So then Lord is saying simply, दैवी हेश गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यय मामेवये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्तिते. So दैवी हेश गुणमयी, दैवी हेश means these three modes of material nature as my energies. Mama maya duratyaya, this particular material energy is crossing this one is very tough. So, but what he is saying is, Mamevaye prabhadyanti, whoever actually surrenders to me, Maya metam tarantite, they can cross this easily. That's what he is saying. So simply if I read that statement, the divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. That's what he is saying. So Lord is simply saying, yeah, just surrendering, that's all you can cross this Bhavasagaram. It's a material suffering world, is called Bhavasagaram. So just by surrendering to Supreme Lord, you can actually cross over it, right? So one time Prabhupada actually gave a nice example of what is this surrendering, about surrendering, right? So one day actually Prabhupada was actually walking on the beach, and beach side, along with his disciples, and one of them is Brahmananda Prabhu. So later he became sannyasa, he is a Swami, right? So while he was walking, Brahmananda Prabhu is a little heavy and big personality. So while he was walking, Prabhupada observed an insect actually crawling on the beach. So Prabhupada asked Brahmananda, can you go and catch that insect? Brahmananda was surprised why Prabhupada was asking to catch that insect, right? But he, out of his order, he went and tried to catch that insect. So then the insect ran away into the water and he couldn't catch. And he came back to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I couldn't catch it. Then Prabhupada laughs. Brahmananda, you are being such a big personality, you couldn't catch a small insect and it ran away from you? That's what he says. Then Prabhupada actually continues saying that, see, this material world, the modes of material nature is like that, and so when here the insect has actually taken shelter of the ocean, that's the reason it could enter into the ocean and disappeared, then you couldn't catch. Then Prabhupada was comparing the ocean is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When an individual soul, the Jiva has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, the Maya, the three modes of material nature cannot do anything you. It can actually, Krishna can protect, because the three modes of material nature is controlled by Krishna himself. So whatever Krishna says, it's going to actually follow, abide it. So actually there is one more example I can say. Let's say I go to Prabhu's place, Kamalnayana Prabhu's home, right? Kamalnayana Prabhu has a nice dog, big dog, very beautiful dog. So if I go there and his dog doesn't know me, right? By looking at me, it starts barking, right? And it wants to attack on me. So I have two choices. One choice is to run away, right? But I came to meet Prabhu. But I can run away, but the dog is not going to leave me. It's going to run after me and somehow it's going to catch my leg. So that's one option, but it's still danger, right? And the second option I have is I can call Kamalnayana Prabhu. Prabhu, I came your home. Your dog is barking. So can you please actually allow me to come inside, right? So then Prabhu comes, Tommy, calm down. Then the moment the Prabhu says, then the dog calms down. Then I can get into the house, right? So similarly, so when master has control on the dog here, the dog is controlled by the master. As soon as master says something, as soon as I had taken shelter of Kamalnayana Prabhu, the dog actually just left me, leave me, right? So it didn't make any harm to me, right? So similarly, when you take surrender of the Krishna, then this Maya or illusion world or three modes of material nature is not going to do anything. We can cross beyond this material world easily. So then why should we actually surrender to Krishna? Why not someone else? Why not some Indra, Chandra, or president of USA or Indian, we have prime minister. Why not actually them? Why we should surrender to Krishna? So in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is saying, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. What it is saying is, the Lord Krishna is Govinda. He has eternal, blissful, spiritual body with full of knowledge. What is having? Three qualities, right? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means the knowledge. And Ananda means blissful. This is the Vigraha he has. He is the, that kind of Vigraha. And he is saying he is cause of all causes. For anything is happening, he is the cause actually. He is the root cause. And he is the origin of all. He is saying for everything that we are seeing, he is the origin. But he is saying he does not have any origin. So Anadir Adir Govinda. And Sarvakarana Karanam is the cause of all causes. So that is the potency, that is the power of Krishna. Who is talking this one? Lord Brahma is talking in the Brahma Samhita prayers. If you see the Brahma Samhita, whole Brahma Samhita is talking about all the great qualities of the Supreme Lord. And also the Lord, Parashara Muni. You must have heard about Parashara Muni, right? Parashara Muni was actually talking about Lord's qualities. He is called Bhagavan. Why is called Bhagavan? Bhagavan means, Bhaga means opulences, basically. There are 6 opulences mainly to talk. So whoever is having those Bhagavans, one means possessing, right? Bhaga means the opulences, and one is possessing. Whoever is possessing these 6 qualities or 6 opulences is called Bhagavan. So Parashara Muni actually, when Lord Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, 5000 years back he was here, he was actually presenting all these qualities in full actually. So like killing Putana when he was actually not even 1 year old, right? And so many majestic things he was doing when he was there here. He was lifting Govardhana. So many, if you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, especially 10th canto, right? You know that whatever Lord performed, right? So these are the 6 qualities. What are those 6 qualities? So he has the strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty and renunciation, right? Strength is strength everybody knows, Balam. So he can do anything. Lord could actually lift Govardhan. That is the strength of him, right? His Govardhan is nothing but in material world, that is the example we can take. He's a fame actually. He's very famous personality. By looking at him, everybody gets attracted to him. Everybody, you are discussing about him today, right? That means his fame, right? He's famous. And wealth, right? Sakshat Lakshmi Devi is his concept. So the whole wealth is actually his. So that is the level of wealth he has. And his knowledge. Knowledge is the unlimited knowledge. Whatever little knowledge we are getting from him, right? So the knowledge he knows actually past, present and future. Everything he knows. And beauty. Beauty is he has unlimited beauty. Now you see someone actually yesterday, 2 Matas decorated very nicely, Radha and Krishna. Thank you so much Matas for all your effort. Very beautiful. So Lord Krishna is so beautiful. In the form of Vigraha itself, we are actually getting so much attracted. If you really see the Krishna, that's all. You can't actually go away your vision from him. That is the beauty of him, right? So, and similarly, renunciation. Even though he has all these opulences unlimitedly, he is also detached. He is actually having renunciation quality. Renunciation means, though he all has these things, he is not worried about. He is not actually have any of this, no, this is mine, I have this one. There is nothing like that. He is fully detached, he is fully renunciated. So those are the 6 qualities as unlimited. So that's what actually Parashara Muni is talking. That is the potency of Krishna. I'll tell you one example, I don't know here in US, but if you see in India, movie stars has very crazy. They have full fan following, right? Heroes or heroines or movie stars. So how actually people are getting attracted to the movie stars? Because in the movies, the actor is actually performing the roles. Actually, the role is performing exhibiting these qualities in certain extent. So when you watch movie, the hero is actually maybe fighting with villains. So when villain is trying to attack some lesser length or some opposite sex, so he was trying to spoil. or exploit, then hero enters into the scene and fights and protects the whoever is actually in trouble, right? So these are the great qualities. Naturally, the heroes or heroines are little bit handsome and beauty also, right? So they are exhibiting these qualities to a certain extent. By watching that movie, though the hero and heroine does not have those qualities, because we are watching in the movie, we are actually praising that quality, not really the person who is acting behind, in fact. But because of our low knowledge, we are thinking that that is the hero, that's the heroine is actually really doing this one. That's the reason we are praising. That's the reason if you see in India, there is a big fan following actually. All the followers of the heroes or heroines, they actually celebrate big things like if their birthday is there, they celebrate, they cut the cake and they celebrate. And they all do processions, right? Why they are doing? Because they are watching these qualities in the movies. That's the reason they are praising. So similarly, in order to get attracted to Krishna, we need to know more about Krishna. What is the way to know more about Krishna? The only way to know about Krishna is reading about him, right? We have Srimad Bhagavatam is written by Acharyas to know more about him. So it is very much recommended to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day or hear about him, Harikatha. So like we are coming to temple about hear about him, right? And we are also praising Lord through Arati and we are singing glorifications. By doing and by associating with more and more of devotees who is actually following that path, then we get to know more about Krishna and his qualities. That the way you get attracted to Krishna and you follow more and more. So then if it is easy, this process surrendering to Krishna, then why not everybody is actually surrendering to Krishna, right? So Arjuna got perplexed. Oh, this is easy process. Actually, anyone can surrender and go back to Lord, right? But then Krishna is saying, no. In this world, hardly anyone actually surrenders unto me. So majority of the people actually not surrendering to Krishna. He's saying that in 7:15, Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya pahruta jnana ashuram bhavamashrita. Say Namam dushkritino mudha. So there are 4 types of mudha, dushkritinos. Dushkritinos means impious people. Sinful activities, who do sinful activities, who are not favorable to spiritual activities or religious activities. Those are one of them is mudha. Mula is a foolish person. Prapadyante naradhama. So prapadyante means surrendering, but they don't surrender. The naradhama. Naradhama is lowest of mankind. There's Naradama. And then another class of people is Maya Pahrita Jnana. Maya Pahrita Jnana means these are actually intelligent people. They have knowledge of this material world. But their knowledge is stolen by illusion. So Maya Pahrita Jnana. Maya is stolen the knowledge. Those kind of people. And Ashuram Bhavamashrita. Ashuram means demoniac qualities. Whoever is showing the demoniac qualities, they are also not going to surrender. These are the 4 types of dushkrintos or impious people don't actually surrender to Lord. Let's see who all are there, right? Mudas. Mudas are saying grossly foolish. They are always selfish and fruitive mentality. So what they are doing, they want to work 24 hours, like 7 days a week, 365 days. For what? For self-sense enjoyment. They want to actually earn money and enjoy themselves. That is the only goal. That's all. Nothing is there. So they don't have. So if you go and ask them, Prabhuji, we have actually a discourse. One Swamiji coming, you want to attend the class? No, I don't have time. That's what the answer you get it. So if you ask them to come to Sunday feast program, they say, no, I don't have time. I am very busy. So that's a kind of mentality. They are very busy with their fruitive activities. So it's like donkey, right? If you see a donkey, what does it do? 24 hours it's carrying the weights. As master is putting weight, it carries. Thinking that at the end of the day, my master is going to give hay of grass. That's the thing. Which is actually available everywhere freely. But still, it is thinking that, oh, my master is going to give the hay of grass, then I need to work. That's the mentality of these mudas. So then these guys are never going to surrender to Krishna. And the second type of people are Naradamas. Naradamas are the lowest of mankind. Lowest of mankind is, if you see, this material universe, there are 8.4 millions of species, right? And out of those, 8 million are actually different animalistic, this one, and only 400,000 are actually species are human. These are our human types I'm talking. So we are actually like, one of the category of this 400 types of species, right? Human species. So majority of them are actually, they don't have any culture, they don't have any social life. They just live whatever the way life they lead. So they don't have what is good, what is bad, there is no religious practices, they don't have any discrimination, that kind of thing. Even them, out of like, who is having some social life and political life also, they also don't follow any kind of religious practices. The ultimate religious practice is to, like, religion is to know about God, and like, by practicing certain religious principle, like, go back to Godhead. That's the purpose of the religion, right? But these people, they don't know any of the religious principle. They don't follow. They enjoy. They know that how to work and how to get money. All those things, they are very educated, but they don't know about any religious qualities, right? So if you see, like, back in India, of course, people who moved from India here also, they have practiced. There are like 24 types of samskaras, right? From birth to death, we have samskaras. When like, when a baby is born, we give, like, naming ceremony, right? That is one of the sanskara. Then we also, one fine day, we feed the like, the baby. It is called annaprasana sanskara. And then the boy actually comes to certain age, we do like, ceremony, thread ceremony, where actually, like, he is eligible to do certain mantras, to recite certain mantras, right? These all are different sanskaras at the different age, actually different stage of life. Even when you die also, there is one samskara. After death, like, the soul leaves his body. Every year there is another sanskara. You give actually some feeding to that, like, the soul, departed soul, right? So even to take birth, before actually, like, wife and husband meet, also there is some sanskara is called Garbhadana sanskara. So there are so many sanskaras we are supposed to follow, but hardly anyone is following these days. These all are called Naradhamas. They don't follow any sanskara, they don't have any religious qualities, anything like that. Though these kind of people are not going to come to Krishna. And there is another class is called Maya Pahrita Jnana. These are actually intelligent people, materially very intelligent, and they even actually study Bhagavad Gita. They even write Bhagavad Gita commentaries, but they don't accept that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly mentioned that Lord Krishna is speaking, I am the Supreme Lord, I am the controller, everything is coming me. All this is clearly talking. In spite of that one, they don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So these are actually, like, writing their own books as per their own speculation. So that is the quality of these people. They never surrender to Krishna. And then ashram bhavam ashrita. There is a, like, ashram bhavam ashrita. These kind of, like, demoniac kind of people. That means they are pure atheistic. Like, if you see, like, in Ravana or Kumbhakarna or Kamsa, these are all demons, right? So they are well educated, but still they don't accept. These are pure atheistics, actually. So they don't accept. These kind of people never going to surrender to Krishna, and Lord is saying that these are the majority of the population in this world, actually. So then Lord saying there are four classes of people that we were discussing in today's verse, that four classes of people who surrender unto me. So though their actually intention was something else, but they are coming to me, so that's the reason I consider them as devotees. What are they? Let's see who all are they. Chaturveda bhajante mam jhana sukritino arjuna artho jigyasudardharti jnanicha bharatarshabham. Chaturveda, four types. Bhajante means who is actually worshipping. Mam means here Krishna, worshipping Krishna. Jana sukritino arjuna, these kind of people. Jana means here people. Sukritino means actually who is doing some activities. Sukritino is doing pious activities. They are pious people. So pious people means who are pious. Like, pious in this world actually, like, is a common meaning. So you go and, like, someone is in some trouble, you go and help. That's also like pious activity. Someone needs some money and you go and help, donate, or like, something you need to donate, you donate, right? These all are actually pious activities. But is that enough to come to Krishna? So that's a question. So in this world, Acharya is saying that those are sukritinos, of course, pious activities, but that is not sufficient to come back to Krishna. He is saying the sukritino is here, Ajnata Sukriti is they are talking about. Ajnata Sukriti means somehow, knowingly or unknowingly, you helped Lord's devotees. Somehow, like, a devotee is actually, like, walking on the road, he has to go, like, another place. But he's walking, somehow, like, you are coming on car, you are going by car, he asked a lift. Then you gave lift to him, right? So it's kind of help you actually did it to the devotee, but you don't know that he is devotee, or you don't even know that by doing helping him, or some of the, like, wonderful sukriti actually you are making. This is called the Agyata Sukriti. Without knowing your knowledge, you are actually helping somehow the devotee, Lord's devotee. That is actually building this Agyata Sukriti. So you all are here today means you all did a good pious activities in this birth or in your previous birth. Somehow you helped some of the devotees. That is the reason you get attracted to Krishna. Otherwise it's impossible to come to Krishna. So these are the Sukriti saying Arjuna. Artho Jignasur Ardharti. Here Artho means distressed people, right? And Jignasur, someone is very inquisitive. Ardharti means someone who needs, has some desires, some monetary desires or anything. Jnani is someone actually who actually wants to know Lord as it is, right? These are the four classes of people, right? Let's see who are these. Artho means who is in distress. What is this distress here? Distress means every day we have some distress, right? When you go to office, what happens? There is a traffic, 5 minutes you need to wait. And by the time you go to office, like, you need to wait, 10 traffic poles, right? So it is kind of distress. And every day, you have cold, you have fever, all this. These are also distresses, but we are not talking about these distresses. These are actually temporary distresses. Every day something as long as these are tolerable, don't consider them as distresses, right? So what exactly distress? Someone is actually in real trouble and not able to come out of that situation. So consider that as distress in this situation, right? So we have, if you see in our scriptures, we have two examples we can take. One is actually Draupadi, right? Draupadi was in Sabha, Kaurav Sabha, where actually Kurus played the gambling. After that they lose Draupadi, and then she was actually, what is it, Duryodhana asked Dushasana actually to actually disrobe her, right? So that time actually she was asking help from everyone, but nobody is coming forward. After trying her best, actually she lifted her hands and then called Govinda, Lord Krishna. That is actually, you are really calling out of your heart to the God. So that's the way actually Krishna reciprocates. That's a real artha. Someone is actually in artho, right? So then another example we have is Gajendra Moksha, right? Gajendra Moksha is something many of us know. Even in India, I see in our home we have some picture, photo. Mostly all Hindu families will have that picture where crocodile is catching the elephant's leg, and then elephant is offering a lotus flower to the Krishna, and Krishna is coming on a Garuda and throwing a Sudarshana, right? That's a picture. Let's little go into the discussion about Gajendra Moksha story, which is very auspicious to talk about Gajendra Moksha story. Whoever actually listens this story, they get all auspicious benefits actually. So once upon a time, there was Elephant King. This is actually not in an earthly planet, this is in a celestial planet, right? So this Elephant King is not an ordinary king, this is a massive elephant. So it is actually in the celestial planet, there is a mountain called Trikuta mountain, right? And the Trikuta mountain is very beautiful. It has very lakes and waterfalls and valleys and so many things, very beautiful. And you find everything that you can actually. So that's a place actually even the Gandharva women, like celestial women, they come and do bath also in that lake. That is a place actually. It's a very beautiful place. That is a place actually. This king elephant is leading life with thousands of wives, thousands of elephant wives. Okay, and millions of actually elephants following actually him. Right. That is the situation. That's a massive level he was. So when he was walking on the mountain, literally the mountain used to shake. That is the strength of his that elephant, right? So this elephant actually in his previous life is actually Indrajimna Maharaj, a king actually. He is very pious king and he is actually a devotee of Krishna. He is actually in South India. There is a Pandya kingdom. He is a king of that Pandya. After retirement of his kingly life, he goes to actually a forest and he is doing tapas there. He is fully immersed into the Krishna consciousness. One time actually one Rishi, I think what is this, Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni comes to see that place and then he tries to actually call King Indrajimna, but King Indrajimna being actually fully immersed into the tapas, actually he doesn't answer. By looking at that one, he is actually doing ignorance life. Then actually the Angirasa curses the king to become an elephant. So because of his pious activities, he actually has taken birth as a king of elephants again. He is king again. And but here he forgets the past life though, but he is leading the kind of enjoyment life. One day he goes to a lake to have he's going on a kind of excursion and then about to see when they are thirsty, actually they enter into the lake and drink water, and then after drinking water they start playing. So in the same lake there is a crocodile. So it is also cursed by some. There is another story I will tell at the end of this one. So that crocodile comes and catches the leg of the elephant. So we just discussed that elephant is so so strong, even it's shaking mountain, but it couldn't actually get relieved from the crocodile's mouth. So this fight actually between the crocodile and elephant happens for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years also, he could not get relieved from the crocodile. So then he gives up, and his actually energy losses. Then he gives up. At that moment, actually, he gets reminded of the prayers that he used to do in his previous life to the Supreme Lord. So then immediately, I don't have any shelter. The only shelter I have is the Supreme Lord. Then he immediately takes a flower, lotus flower from the lake, and he offers to the Supreme Lord and he recites that prayers, right? Then with that intensive prayers, Lord responds immediately, very immediately. There is a nice verse actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, Potana actually in Telugu written, wonderful actually, if you recite that would be amazing. So that Lord responds very immediately. He even forgets in which situation he is there, he just starts running. And he comes by a Garuda and looking at the situation of that Gajendra and the crocodile, the Lord immediately releases Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana is a disc basically. Immediately releases Sudarshana Chakra, which goes and cuts the throat of the crocodile, and then immediately the crocodile becomes one of the Gandharva. And the Gandharva is actually in his past life is one of the Gandharva king called Uhu. Uhu, right? Have you ever heard that name? It's like aha, he, woohoo. That's a woohoo. So he was actually one day along with his celestial women. He comes to that lake for the bath. While he is doing bathing, so there one actually Rishi comes. His name is Devala. So sage Devala comes to do actually his bath and is doing Sandhya Vandan. And as actually he is playing with his women. So he wants to make some fun out of, to make the ladies laugh, right? Then he comes and he pulls his Angirasa Muni's dhoti, not Angirasa Muni, says Devala Muni. Devala Rishi's dhoti. Then looking at that one, the Devala Rishi becomes angry and then he actually curses that Gandhara to become a crocodile. Then he realizes and he asks for the relief. Then actually says, when you catch a Gajendra next life, then Lord comes and relieves that you become again the Gandharva. That's how actually he gives the solution for the curse, right? So here the thing is, Artho, right? One of the here the situation is Artho very distressed. That elephant is very distressed in that situation. He came to Lord and he remembered Lord. Thankfully, he actually remembered Lord last in the past in the previous life. He was praying Lord and he could remember the prayers. That's the reason it's very important for all of us. Learn some prayers in this life when you are active. You never know when we are going to come into a distress. So that is the time actually Lord gives some kind of intelligence in our heart that He makes you remember that prayers. So which actually going to relieve us from the distress. So then the next category, what? You all were good? Oh. Okay, I'll close it in 2 minutes. So the next class is like Ardharti, who is actually like, the desire of money. We have very good example is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj actually was insulted by his stepmother, and then he goes to forest and then he does some penance to get the better kingdom than his father. So that's how he gets a pole star itself, which is permanent. So the difference between, so in this chapter again, later Lord talks, when you are in a problem, majority of people go to actually, for anything, any boons, they go to demigods. But he's saying, don't go demigods. So whoever goes to demigods, he's saying literally, they are less intelligent people. He's asking to come to me, come to Krishna. Because when you go to demigods, the demigods are going to give the results. But that is going to be minute and it's going to be temporary. But when you go to Krishna, what happens? Krishna is going to purify your desire. And he gives something unlimited and also permanent. So that's what we see in case of Dhruva Maharaj. He went to actually want to get the kingdom better than his father. And when he did penance, actually, Lord actually purifies his heart. By looking at heart, actually, the Dhruva Maharaj actually forgets his desire. No, I don't want any desire. I want to association of your devotees. That's a boon he asked actually when Lord really appeared. But Lord, out of mercy, he still gives actually pole star itself as a boon to him. So I think we are running out of the time. We can actually discuss more, but due to time, so we'll continue some other time. Thank you so much for hearing very patiently. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, please comments, let me know. We'll try to answer. Any comments? All right. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. We'll ask Prabhu one more time if anyone have any questions or comments, any reflections you want to share on this particular class. Okay, we are moving on to the next part of our program, Arati. Please rise, we'll have an Arati. Swarnamanjari Mataji is going to sing Arati Kirtan. Sarveshri Mataji is doing the Pujari service.
I will tell. Bhaiya, give me one flower. What is it? Give me a flower. He will give. विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 everybody Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Hariharaya Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Hariharaya Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jaya Radha Neel Madhav Radha Neel Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Neel Madhav Radha Neel Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Gaurani Tai 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtotar Shata Shri Srimati Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय यमुना देवी गंगा देवी तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय बृहत में गंगा की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय गौर परमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga all glories to Srila Prabhupada Hare Krishna Temple of Austin की जय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने हिरण्यकाशितो वक्षः शिलातन्तानकालाये इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे अद्भुत नालिका हिरण्यकशिपु जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह रे जय नरसिंह रे जय नरसिंह रे जय नरसिंह रे जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नरसिंह भगवान की गौर प्रेमानंदी।
Thank you, Swarna Manjari Mataji, for the Arati Kirtan.